Hi, Mark Diaz here for 2danimation101.com. In this video, I'm gonna keep talking about the good elements of a drawing. The elements of a good drawing. We already covered the clean lines, the thickness of the line, the spacing between objects, and now we're gonna talk about placement. Now, to avoid any confusion, spacing is the distance between those elements, that negative space like we saw in the eyes, right? And placement means that positioning in relation to all the other elements. Let's explain with an example. That's the easiest way to understand it. So, for example, in here, this, as you can see, there is a mistake in here. Everything else was okay, but in here, this student made a little mistake, because this eye was supposed to be in here. So this is not a placement mistake. This is a mistake of spacing. The spacing is wrong. And by the way, just if you happen to do a mistake like this, be very careful, because if you're repeating it wrong, you're building the wrong intuition, and that's not what you want. Okay, so that's a spacing problem. So that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about placement. This is a perfect example of the wrong placement. As you can see, let me zoom in a little bit. As you can see, the spacing, the space between the eyes is good. Okay? It almost looks like glasses. But yeah, this is what I mean. Let's not get distracted. But yes, what I'm talking about is the spacing is okay, but the placement in relation to the rest of the face is wrong. Why? Because in the exercise, if you follow the tutorial, the eyes should be here, right? This is where it should be, right? If this is the area of the eyes should be below the center of this circle, right? So that is the perfect example. And this was not done on purpose. This was done by accident from a student called Rahika. So this is what we need to pay attention to, okay? And also we see other mistakes of the jaw and all of that, but later we're gonna cover that. For now, just focus on what is this student doing correctly and what is doing wrong. Okay, correctly, we can say, okay, yes, the drawing in general is not good, but I can see that she did the spacing correctly. Nice. And also, for the eyes, the lines are very clean and the thickness is okay. So we have a couple of things done correctly, but the placement is wrong. Make sense? Let's check how this other student made a great job. Look, this is the reference, okay? And these are the drawings made by the student. This is amazing, right? Even a little bit better than mine. But yeah, look at this. The lines are super clean. The spacing is correctly. Everything is great. So, in general, just so you know, placement is another part of a good drawing. Placement, you need to know how to place the eyes in the correct position. And the only way that you can develop, remember, first you measure, then you feel it. A quote from Josh Waitzkin. So in here, how do you measure it? Well, you just use a grid. A grid is a great way to measure the placement and measure the spacing. Okay? Now for the lines, the cleanness of the line and the thickness, you just have to pay closer attention and look for it. So that's it for this video. Now in the next one, we're gonna talk about shape proportion. That can be mistaken for shape sizes, but we're later going to notice and understand the difference between both. So the next one is shape proportions. Okay, see you in the next video.